started in Golconda, Illinois, right beside the Ohio River this morning. Starting at that river, we knew that that river was completely iced up, as people were approaching it. So they had to wait there for a few weeks before they were able to cross over. You look at that river and you're like, wow, like that thing's big. And they had to wait a long time for that to kind of thaw out.
A local man named George Heilman owned this. His two young sons died in the fall of 1838, and he buried them out in a field on his farm. The Cherokee then came through. They had asked to camp in this area because this area had long been a campground, an informal campground, because of the number of natural springs that are in the area. They had asked him if they, could bury some of their dead here, and he said yes, to bury them near his two young sons that had died just the year previous. We have done some ground penetrating radar here, which basically just kind of shows us that there's unmarked grave shafts in the ground. There's about 20. Now, they may not all be Cherokee burials, but they're all together in the same area, so it's very likely.
We've experienced a lot of mass graves. Almost everywhere we've stopped, we've had mass graves that are unmarked. That hurts my heart a lot because those were people and those were people's relatives. To think that they don't have that stone there that says who they are so we can identify them is heartbreaking. I think that that's been one of the hardest parts of this journey is the amount of mass graves we've come upon, because almost every stop that they had, not just a few people died, you had mass amounts of people die. You think to yourself, you're like, wow, this was a direct act of genocide toward us as Cherokee people, and they succeeded in doing that. But I think us being able to visit these places, there's a lot of healing that takes place, not just for those ancestors that are laid to rest there, but also for us as Cherokee people.
There's an old road, a trail down it, so you can actually walk on about a mile of the original trail that the Cherokee traveled on. And because of what happened here, that winter that they were traveling through southern Illinois, it was super cold, very rainy, and there was huge ice flows that had formed in the Mississippi River. So the only way they had to get across the river was on ferries, and the ferries were not able to run. There was many of the detachments that got kind of trapped on the floodplain and ended up having to camp there for weeks until they were able to get across the river in these like super cold, icy conditions.
This is the second time we've been able to walk on the, or a piece of the original trail, and every time I think it just gets harder because you can hear footsteps, you hear those singings, you hear those hymns that you knew that they were singing in Cherokee at that time or in English or, however it came out for them at that time. They were just trying to keep themselves moving. As we walk across these by choice, they did not get the ability to choose this route. We did, and I think through that, just as the mass graves, there's healing here. There's healing in the ability to walk by choice in their footsteps and honor the people that we've lost, but also honor all of those that survived and made it out to Oklahoma.